I'm Bruce Buffer. It's time for the Anthony Gorgano Show!
Good morning, everybody. Well, a happy Wednesday to all across the Delaware Valley. Oh, we start the big tournament tomorrow. Hoops! It's our spring, kind of pre-spring party that begins. Nothing like the NCAA tournament, Thursday and Friday, the first two sessions. This first weekend is awesome. Wall-to-wall basketball. It starts at noon. Everybody's excited. I love it, right? It's Guinness and it's wings and it's a party. Pizza. It's a pizza poop party. It's the greatest thing in the world. So. And it started last night with the playing games as the Alabama A&M does a Leitner. That was unbelievable. I was at baseball practice, and I'm like, I'm trying to follow on my phone, but like when you're on your phone, you don't see it, right? Like you don't see it. So Alabama State and St. Francis is winning most of the second half. It's a close game, but Alabama State's winning. It's tied, and then they do a Leitner. My buddy Boots sent me a text. Goes, dude, the madness has begun. And it was a Leitner, Christian Leitner. I don't know if people remember this play. It happened at the Spectrum. It was the most famous inbound pass, baseball pass. Leitner catches and fires for the dramatic win. And Alabama State does it last night to knock off St. Francis. And Carolina, the baby blue of the Tar Heels make waste of San Diego State. Like the whole country was rooting for the Aztecs except for VG because VG bet North Carolina. But the whole world was rooting for San Diego State to make a statement to say, look, Carolina does not deserve to be there. And they knew it, right? They knew it. They put up 95 last night, and they're in the tournament. So they won. They're playing 2 more play-ins tonight, and then it all begins tomorrow. Cannot wait. But the big story across Philadelphia, or the big story on Action News, as we say here in Philadelphia, is the retirement of BG yesterday. How perfect. When we got off the air yesterday, we saw the words. We knew it was coming down. He hung his cleats on the Rocky statue, which is so apropos. A great, great athlete, a great Eagle, the all-time tenured Eagle, and again, gets to 3 Super Bowls, wins 2 of them. There it is, the all-time tenured Eagle. BG, Chuck Bednarik, the great Jason Kelsey, Doc, and Harold. 5 legends, the 5 most important Eagles of all time, right? Like BG is an important figure in this franchise. And, to this day, I've always felt like a fool when it comes to the draft, right? Because when the Eagles and Andy, think about this, BG was drafted by the Andy regime. How nuts is that, right? I'll never forget when they drafted him out of Michigan. I wanted Earl Thomas bad. Earl Thomas was a safety from Texas. I can't believe I actually got to explain who Earl Thomas is. But there's some people going, Earl Thomas, who's that? And Earl Thomas was a big hitting safety from Texas. And I'll never forget talking to Andy about it. He's like, dude, the way the league is, it's you need edge rushers and corners. He believed in a shell philosophy, right? That the safety was devalued. Remember, when BG comes to the league, the safety and the running back and linebackers were on their way out. It's only now where they're back in vogue. But back then, Doc was expendable at the end, as we saw, right? Like it was, I'll never forget, Dawkins, the whole city's crushed because we love B-Doc. And you go, all right, well, Earl Thomas can come in and play that role, and they take BG, and I was freaking out. I loved Earl Thomas, big hitter, could play some center field, and had a good career in Seattle, part of the Legion of Boom, but he did not have the career that BG had. BG came up big, right? Whether it was strip sacks or whatever, you name it, Brady's, Mahomes. He just was he was a great ambassador, a great Eagle, great personality. I worked with him on the Primos campaign. Just an awesome, awesome dude. Like just one of the best. So we want to share our love, send our love to him and his family, beautiful family. I got a great picture. In fact, I got to send it to you of my kids with BG. I'll never forget. Man, goes back probably, he's probably after his first couple of really good years. I remember sitting with him and apologize, telling him like, dude, I wanted Earl Thomas ready. He goes, I know, he's all dead, but you're a great Eagle and the whole thing. And it was, he's just one of these special people, happy, loving, and a great football player. Good morning, VG.
Good morning. Yeah, he's great. He just exudes positivity, great smile, great laugh. He had so much fun with the people. Like him and Gunner had a great relationship on post-game shows, him leaving the field.
Well, he had that, because he had that way about him. Like,
yeah,
he really did. He just had a beautiful way about him, man. I'm just looking for him. I got to show this picture. It's a great picture.
It's wild, dude, because a lot of people showing the pictures, which is a testament to who he was. BG, it feels like he took pictures with everybody. He never turned anyone down.
Nah, he was one of those guys.
Yeah.
He was one of those guys that he loved people. It's very rare that you have an athlete who's a people person because they're kind of trained out of it, right? Because people are always in your face.
Mm-hmm.
And he was the rare guy that loved people.
You could tell, man. Yeah, he just thrived
Good
when he
soul,
was around.
Man.
Yeah, and we didn't break him, which is so nice. Thank God we didn't. That's a testament also to the man he is, because we weren't great to him the first couple of years.
Yeah, that's
we
why
gave him a hard time, man.
I give you, that I wanted Earl Thomas. I had to start. For full disclosure.
Yeah, and he heard it for a couple of years because it took him a while to get his footing and his bearing here, and he didn't. Yeah, man, just a great dude. Strip sack, so many key plays.
You saw that list of important Eagles.
Yeah,
right. I mean,
like he's a good player, not like an all-time great player, but just a great like human and Eagle. Like you said, ambassador, like the greatest ambassador you could have for the Eagles feels like it's BG.
Yeah, I mean, look, Doc was, obviously Ben Merrick was great. Dawkins was probably the Eagles' best player ever.
Yeah.
Any position, right? And as far as longest tenure.
Yeah, Kelsey's close.
Well, I was about to say him and Kelsey.
Yeah.
BG for longevity and for being the ambassador. And a very good player, right? Like in big moments. And Harold,
Yeah, what struck me, Zach did a good job recapturing everything, but when he talked about his wife, man, like when the world only saw the player, you saw the man. When I was at my lowest, you lifted me up. When I questioned myself, you reminded me who I was. Like,
yeah,
powerful
strong,
stuff, man.
That's great stuff.
Yeah.
It is. It's beautiful. That's the essence of the journey, right?
Yeah.
The hero's journey, the ups and downs, and having someone in your corner that you love.
Yeah, so important.
Here's
There's
little Ant and Massimo with BG.
Man, little Ant looks big next to him.
Yeah, now see him. He's probably his size. He's BG size right now.
Holy smoke.
That was only a few summers ago. Look at Massimo. You just saw Massimo.
Yeah.
He looks like a little baby now compared to who he is now. And there he is at training camp with BG, my two boys.
That's a strong Cunningham jersey, too.
Yeah. Never
Tall
forget.
white socks.
Yeah, man.
Moss has got the tall white socks on.
Yeah, Moss
Yeah,
has.
but
Almost to his knees.
Problem is he's not wearing pants that come up to his knees either. I mean, that's the problem, dude.
Yeah, you wear.
There's no problem. There's no problem here.
Your shorts and socks meet.
There's no problem.
They're
here.
not supposed to
These
be.
are almost meeting.
No, but they don't. There's skin there. There's skin. There's knees.
Not only does
you
he-
got no skin. All you got is a meeting of the sock pant.
Yeah.
And he wears fuzz as it is, and then he rolls them up higher. Like he thinks he's an ankle model or something.
Well, by the way, he looks like Laverne. Nobody will get the reference.
You guys.
Shamil, Shamazo.
Nobody will get the reference. But when we were kids, like, isn't that what they did in the 50s?
This is the look. This is the look.
You got some cigarettes rolled up in your sleeve of your shirt too.
This is the look for my age. We all dress this way.
Oh man, BG doesn't dress that way.
Sorry you don't like style. Sorry you don't like style.
All right, relax. Shut up. We don't care about your style. But when you think about athletes that have made an impact, any sport, like the Flyers Cup teams, like they're still relevant, right? Like Bernie is still around town.
That Cup team, there's not been like a Flyer to have an impact.
No.
Since those guys?
Prop. Yeah, I mean, I think the 80s, no. They've been
know.
around.
Yeah, they're around. I just don't feel like no one's made that, like, no one's like a BG on the Flyers to me.
Over the years?
Yeah, I mean, like, we know, like, Coots he's the longest tenured now?
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't pop like BG was a personality.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. Phillies are interesting because then you have the 80 Phillies team. Those guys are all right. Like those guys stayed around.
Yeah,
they became a part of the landscape. And then the 08 team, I think they're there now.
Jimmy kind of reminds me of a BG. He had good personality. I like Jimmy. Jimmy's always got a special place in my heart.
Yeah,
out of that squad.
Yeah. I think BG's more affable than Jimmy.
Yeah,
Jimmy's got Jimmy's cool, right? Like Jimmy's got that, but Jimmy's got an edge.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Whereas BG's all love. He's just all. He's gregarious and affable.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's a rarity. Like think about, I don't know many athletes that don't like him.
No, I'm trying to go through the Rolodex right now. Like Bernie.
Yeah.
Bernie's like, hey,
Bernie's
everyone
like
I always like to see Bernie.
Yeah. Bernie gives you that warm and fuzzy.
Yes.
Charlie.
Yes. Yeah.
You're like BG, like that's the mold that we're talking about.
Yeah.
Like that really, 08 is Charlie. Like to this day.
Yeah. He set the tone. Yeah, you're right. Charlie's got the BG vibe. Like
that. Like, I want to make you smile.
Yes. Yeah. I wonder, like, if it's just you're closer to Charlie than I am. I've only met him once. So you're very close to him, but like, he's always that way?
Always, dude. If I told
it's not like
you,
something he puts on.
No. I take him every summer. I take him to Massimo's baseball game.
Yeah.
Now imagine you're a kid and Charlie Manuel walks in to watch you play.
No, I can't. I actually can't imagine that.
And I brought him every summer. I do it every summer. I bring him to a game, and he loves it. And he talks to the kids. He talks to the parents. You know, we're sitting behind home plate. We always stand behind the cage. You got to stand behind the cage. So we're behind home plate, and the line comes up, and Charlie loves it. Stay there all day talking to people.
It's amazing.
I remember doing it at the diner at Ponzio's. He would stand there all day. BG's the same way.
It's such a gift. I think I would find that exhausting myself to be super nice and happy every time I'm out in public.
I get it. I could do it. I enjoy it.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. It saps your energy.
Yeah, I would think.
but it's a gift. Like
There must
people
be,
go,
they must be getting an energy exchange where they get it back and they've.
well, you know what it is? I think you feel like, I know Charlie does, and I know BG, if I had a conversation with BG about it, I think there's this, you still feel like, oh my God, like if someone wants to talk to you or cares to meet you, that's a gift. I don't care how many people are there, like whether it's 1 or 1 million, the fact that they want to meet you, I think that's special. I think that's a gift from God.
I think you're right.
I mean, honestly, like I get it. Like athletes that, you know, it can get tiresome, but you know, the moment is fleeting,
right?
And before you know it, nobody really cares unless you're, you know.
Yeah, I wish more athletes had that mentality.
You know, but it's like that with anybody, actors or any kind of celebrity people.
The Baldwins, Alec Baldwin, man.
I don't know.
He's just always a curmudgeon every time he's in public.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I know nothing about.
You don't check in on TMZ ever or anything?
No. My mother-in-law loves TMZ. If I see it, I
pop on once a day.
You do?
TMZ.com, just see what's happening. Yeah. Yeah.
People love it. I've seen the show because Harvey's great.
Yeah.
But I don't keep. I'm not a big celebrity gossip person. I don't care about that stuff. I got enough problems and I got enough things to do. Like I just can't even imagine having something else. Like I can't even I follow sports.
We should do that every morning. We'll do a TMZ headline of the day. Keep you up to date on pop culture and current events.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really care, but you could do it.
The top story. Hailey Bieber. I don't even know who that is. Exploring legal options against her online haters.
Well, there you go. I mean, you like that stuff.
Here's why. I'll be honest. I play Quizzo every week. I got to keep up on this pop culture stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that helps. There's always some pop culture
piece of it.
How about the tourney last night? We had a little excitement early on.
So that play was the Christian Laettner play.
Yes, it was. A little deeper pass, but
yeah. It wasn't the foul line.
How does it still work?
Top of the key.
How does it still work?
Isn't it nuts? And then he gets free and he's able to slither in. Yeah.
Yeah. It's talking about slithering. Then UNC comes out. They might as well just play like Darth Vader's song.
And you were all over them.
Oh, yeah.
You were all over.
You knew they were coming out with a vengeance and a chip on their shoulder.
Yeah. Carolina came in strong.
They started strong, finished strong.
Yeah.
They were pulling players with like 10 minutes left in the game.
Yeah. It was a statement, right? It was one of those, we have to show that we belong, is what it was.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, they've won like 9 out of the last 11, so they're playing well.
Well, it's one of the things that I don't like with the tournament is the selection committee is it doesn't take an account into how teams are playing.
Well, I think maybe with UNC they did because they stunk early on.
I think that was they saw them in the ACC tournament, and Bubba is on the committee.
Bubba Cunningham.
I mean, come on.
He cashed in $100,000 for them making it, and I think he cashed in another 100 or 2 for them winning a game in it.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Bad optics.
Yeah, bad optics is right. I'm completely with you.
Oh, so Hailey Bieber is married to Justin Bieber. There you go.
Well, I would chime
her father's a Baldwin.
Her father's one of the Baldwins?
Yes.
Oh, man.
Well, you keep up on this stuff
That'd
too?
be the worst father-in-law to have a Baldwin.
No, I don't really keep up with it. I just know.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
He just knows.
I just want, you know what?
Well, she's like
the
my
older
age.
I get, and the world is insane, right? Like,
oh, it's a great drama. INS.
we find out who killed JFK.
Oh, yeah. Wasn't it just the same stuff they released like 2 years ago? Just redated?
I don't know. But did you know the Mossad?
Oh, that stuff going around on like the internet and stuff.
Oh, my God.
Who
It's
knows?
crazy. And you know what's funny? I was saying this to my wife. We had baseball. Like I took Moss. I worked out. We played basketball.
Yeah.
And then we had baseball. And I just go, all I want to do is just do sports every day. Like I don't want to care
That's
about
not true.
life.
You want to write scripts too.
Okay, but that's my separate at night tell stories.
Okay.
but not be like away from the world.
Yeah.
And on it, like I'm watching kids, like we're working kids baseball practice last night, and it's so pure. It's cold, like I got a hoodie on, right? Working on cut off guys, take glove work. Like there's such purity in that. Like that's it's such a like haven.
My mind's like, I just want to ruin it because the pagan sent me a whole thing about baseball the other night. Baseball with all these like Masonic conspiracy or origins, and the shape of the field looks like
the diamond,
the Masons.
Get the hell out of here! Yeah, now all of a sudden baseball's satanic. Come on, stop! Leave my sports alone.
Hey, to keep
Get out of my life.
just to keep you up with the drama, INS in the chat says she's married to Bieber, but she suspects Justin is still in love with Selena Gomez. So there's issues in that relationship.
All right. Let me tell you about some of our friends. Please, God forbid. Where's Pat?
Sam from the UK. We don't like North Carolina, but we take easy money. Sammy was with me.
I like Sammy. He's all right. Let's talk a little bit about Timeline. I'm starting to feel the Timeline. Yes, it's a health longevity supplement that features their proprietary Mito Pure ingredient. Now, here's the deal. Mito Pure with Timeline, it works with the cells in your body to help reverse age-related decline. All right? The benefits include increased strength, energy, endurance. All right? They've done like 15 plus years of research, secured 30 U.S. patents. All right? Timeline, they know that the cells in our bodies are the building blocks of life. And Timeline's a supplement that works with those cells to help give you more energy, feel stronger during workouts, preserve health and mobility as you start to age. And that's where the MitoPure comes in. It's a postbiotic nutrient that clears out dysfunctional mitochondria, a.k.a. your cell's battery packs. It's so good. I'm starting to feel it. Like
you walk in here, you got a little pep in your step in the morning.
It helps like when you're working out with the kids.
Yeah.
That's the best thing for you. All right. Go to timeline.com/PHLY. That's timeline.com/PHLY. And speaking of movement and helping you stay. What are you laughing at?
Nothing.
Rothman, what happened?
I was thinking about movements on the other end. I thought we were doing like a Fiverr commercial or something coming up.
You too. That's why I need Pat. All right. I need McClune because McClune, I can have a serious sports discussion without, you going bowels, him going whatever, socks, and God only knows what kind of sophomoric jokes. Oh my God. I can't get away from it. Back out of whack.
Yeah.
All right. Shoulder out of whack.
Oh, yeah.
Knees. You got all kinds of issues. Fingers. What are you, Paul George?
Fingers, right? Yeah. Shut it down.
Oh, my God. Rothman's got you. And Rothman Orthopedics, practicing specialized care has been their passion for over 50 years. Their mission, high-quality, compassionate, affordable care rooted in research. Research leads to new treatments and better outcomes. Each Rothman doctor laser focus on their specialty. Hip, knee, spine, you name it. They got a team for each body part right here in our backyard. So you can cross over that defense, drain those jumpers, all right? And root for our teams like no other fans in the country. They're Rothman Orthopedics, and they specialize in you. And that's true. For more than 50 years, Rothman has participated in thousands of groundbreaking research and clinical trials with the goal of advancing knowledge, developing treatments, and improving outcomes for the benefits of their patients. That's right. Rothman Orthopedics specialize in orthopedics, and you visit rothmanortho.com/PHLY to learn more and make an appointment today. rothmanortho.com/PHLY. All right, time now to go to the editor's desk.
Extra, read all about it.
This just in, ladies and gentlemen, and all the ships at sea. It's time for headlines from the editor's desk with Pat McClune.
There he is.
Oregon.
Look at that.
Duck.
You know, you're in there with two great men, the singing duo, Anthony, but I feel like I should be there beside you today to offer some companionship. The fellas are a little off the rails.
Bless you. Bless you. You understand exactly what I'm talking about. It's the we're in the tournament. The playing games last night were incredible, right? BG retires. Like, this is a sports time. I just, like, tomorrow you're going down the shore to watch the games.
Yes.
I want to be with you with a Guinness and talking hoop. It's our holiday.
We'll do three things. We will eat, drink, and watch hoops at Jeff Sherry's house. Former player for Rowley at Villanova. So it's good hoops talk down there.
Oh, that's
Pat. Pat, what team are you rooting for? Haley Bieber or Selena Gomez in this Bieber drama?
I'm not sure what the drama is, but I'm Team Selena based on Murders in the Building. She's the best one.
Good call. Hey, I do have kind of breaking news about the MLB involving a former Eagle in Tokyo, Japan.
What?
There's a play that happened, a foul ball caught by a former Eagle who is way too old to bring a glove to the ball game, Rodney Pete.
Rodney Pete?
Wow.
Was that the baseball game?
Yes, here he is. He's catching a foul ball.
Oh, and he's got the glove? Come on,
he's
man.
got the glove.
You are so right, VJ. Oh, come on. nice hands. But
Oh, my God. He pulls a barman. Rodney Pete is barman. He's the Japanese barman.
It's crazy, right?
Oh, my God.
There's-
Rodney Pete.
There's so much craziness to that. Like, why is he's in Tokyo? He's got a glove.
He does a show. He does a local radio show in LA. So I'm sure he's there for that reason. Oh my! And he pulls a ride. Oh my God, Pat! He did a barman.
There's a certain age where a grown man can't wear a mitt to the baseball game.
Yes.
16.
45 years past.
Yes, if you can drive, you don't need a glove at the ballpark.
No, you should not bring a glove to the ball.
Yeah.
If you're driving,
And you're a former professional athlete.
yeah, that's weak.
Come on.
One of the most beautiful things I ever saw was I was with a friend who's now passed, Ron McEntee. We had our kids, we're doing college campuses, went to Reading Phillies game. And we're standing up in the top row. There's always a good seat. A line drive gets kind of hit over the fence to the right-hand side. I look over. There's a woman holding her baby and a beer. It comes flying up. She casually puts the baby in the same hand as the beer and stabs it barehanded.
Are you serious?
It was a beautiful thing. Brendan can back me up on that. And if Rodney Pete made a nice one-handed grab barehanded, we'd applaud him. But that's a little weak. Come on, man.
And he interfered.
Yeah. And he gave him the stare down.
Yeah. That's a violation.
Total violation.
Wow. All right. Time now for the headlines of the week. I love it. I love it, love it, love it.
Here we go, boys. We're at 4 because we're going to go a little extensive on the tournament.
I like your order, by the way.
Okay. So why don't we have 2 NCAAs, Eagles and Sixers. Why don't we get the team in the basement out of the way?
Let's do
So our
it.
Sixers thing that you and I texted about a little bit. The headline on that is "Stop the Fight." Come on, man, just stop the fight. You know, the thing that sent me going over the weekend, Anthony, with a quick text to you was when they had 10 players sitting out the game. And, you know, we lived through the process. People are on different sides of it and all. And there was a guy like me goes back. You get 9 and 73 Sixers. You have some dog bones for Mike McCormick and the Eagles. Some really bad Phillies teams. But I can't remember Philadelphia fans being more turned off by a team than they are by this year's Sixers.
Yeah. Because we weren't prepared for the process.
Exactly. And this thing, you know, and we've talked before, the league's got a huge problem. I don't care what anybody says with this. You got the Sixers on these national televised games. They got to pull them off left and right. They can't put them on a national game.
No.
And when the Sixers were bad when they were trotting out, you know, some of the guys back in the day, some of those Ish Smith and the boys. All right. They had a bad team that went out and played hard and lost. But this is a whole different thing. This is talking about that when Maxey comes back with his hand, and I know you could tell he couldn't shoot. He's hurt. No problem. But now the talk is when he comes back down, let's shut him down. Let's shut George down. Come on. What are you doing? It's so unfair to the fans and the league. And here's the other thing, too. I hope there's a little karma involved. And I want the Sixers to get good again. I want to really talk real pro basketball. But they do this thing and they get the pick that's protected within the 6. You know, that can go 2 ways. If they get the 7th pick in the draft, will it have been worth it to decide between Maryland center Derek Queen, Duke center Kaman Maluach, or Michigan State guard Jace Richardson, who are the guys in that area on mock drafts? What's that accomplish? So, and now our guy PG shuts it down. I guess he can turn the lights back on in the podcast office. But that's been brutal. And we're going to, Josh Harris, I guess you don't roll over in bed when you've got that much money. But that dude has to pay him $162 million over the next 3 years, and he'll be 38 when that's over. I don't care how much timeline he takes. He's not going to bounce back. He's not going to. How good is he going to be at 38? I mean, that timeline might help me and you a little bit, but you know, come on now.
No, you're spot on, and it just sucks. And the league going G League, I've never seen anything like it. I was talking to Devon. Devon was like, "Nah, it's still good." And I'm like, I don't know. It feels like the G League has taken over the NBA for way too many teams.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, it's not like, it's not like Silver's got to like laser focus in on the Sixers. I think he is because they have good players that are involved in the tank, but there's 4 or 5 teams in the league. You know, that's a problem. You know, I mean, the Flyers are doing it their way, but they're going young, and you know they're gonna.
You expect the Flyers. Like the Flyers needed to do this to get out of purgatory.
And they're rolling out young guys, and those guys are battling. You know, sometimes they get bad results. They go in funks for a few games, but you know every now and then they pull one out, and they're battling and stuff like that. That league wide, you've really got. And Oklahoma City sitting there as a team that benefited from the tank and drafted well. You know, another irony of the Sixers, Anthony and VG, is the thing that killed the process is they made bad draft decisions.
Yes.
You know, these guys didn't work out. Okafor and Markelle.
Yeah.
The irony now is that Morey's been fabulous drafting, but he's drafting in the 20s. I mean, Maxey was the 20th pick in the draft. I never thought, it's so far ago, the poor kid got hurt. We already forgot about McCain. I mean, Rich talked in a newsletter about maybe if they could have Grimes back and pay him next year, that you got Maxey, McCain, and Grimes. All right, I could live with that backcourt. But then he's advocating sitting Grimes the rest of the season. Stop.
But here's the thing, though. 3 2 guards is what you got.
You're right. Yeah, that's the truth.
Grimes can't play wing. He's not a wing player. I mean, I guess you get away with it. But
at least Grimes can defend it too.
Yeah.
He's 6'5", he can defend it too. But the other 2 guys, offensively, you really got, Maurice Cheeks is not on that roster.
No, you need somebody. But look, to your point, these are teams currently tanking. You ready? the Wizards, the Hornets, the Nets, the Raptors, the Heat, and the Bulls. All right?
And I think the Jazz, too.
What's that?
Or whatever they call themselves now, yeah.
And then you got the Jazz, the Pelicans, the Spurs, Mr. Wemby,
Yep.
Portland. Portland's playing a little bit better. But you're talking about all those teams are tanking.
Yes. Yes. And you know what? By virtue of that, the league starts to tank.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I just feel bad for people that paid money up front and, you know, you're worried about your team tanking, and then you come and you play another team, you want to see a good player, and he's not playing tonight because that team's tanking.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah.
The whole thing's crazy.
Utah's 0-10. They're tanking well right now. They're 0-10 their last 10.
Yeah, well, they have players like they don't play John Collins. He's never playing. Walker Kessler plays once a week. Crazy.
I mean, yeah, how bad is it when you got to sit Walker Kessler in the tank?
I know. That dude, every time I look at him, he grabs 20 rebounds. It's nuts.
Yeah. Let Walker Kessler go up against Shaq or Tim Duncan or somebody. See how he does that.
Yeah.
He'll be tanking. He'll be walking away for that.
Yes. Yes.
Come on, man. Jeez.
All right. Next headline.
All right. The Eagles. Now, on the Eagles, guys, our headline is greatness has its price. And, you know, that's what we're finding out. I find it interesting that I have, and we have to go with your guy there. Andrew and I decided we got to put the right bit of greatness up there. I have 12 guys that the Eagles have to pay monster contracts to. Hurts, Saquon. Now, Saquon's getting good running back money, but, you know, sad to say, you know, Saquon probably won't be here in 4 or 5 years.
Right.
AJ, Devontae Smith, Lane Johnson, Landon Dickerson, Mailata, and probably now Juergens.
Right.
Then on defense, you got to pay big money to Carter, Mitchell, DeJean, and Bond. And that speaks to how good they are, but they're going to have to pay all those guys. I was trying to think.
And maybe even Nolan Smith.
Well, that was right there as they come. You're right on the money, Anthony. Nolan Smith is right there where he's going to probably have another year where they're going to say, we got to throw him in. Now you're talking 13 guys. And God knows who they're going to draft, who's going to be good. And it just shows the personnel on this team. I look at some other teams and I'm thinking, nobody has this. It's a happy issue. Let's look at the Chiefs. Got to pay Mahomes whatever you can. Chris Jones demands big money. Kelsey's on the way out. After that, I think they have a guy named Smith on the O-line they like. Maybe they give money to. Maybe they give they have one good corner, okay? And they have that Bolton at linebacker, maybe.
Yeah,
so even with that, they're only up at like 5 or 6. That's not half of what the Eagles are doing.
No.
It just shows there's a mother load of talent down at the Nova.
You're spot on. I mean, you could go. It's a great exercise to do the 6-digit dudes, right? Like the 6-digit.
That would be great.
The 8-digit dudes. Yeah.
You're exactly right. And then I see something, look at the money now that Stingley signs 3 years, $90 million. I guess somebody could always fall back, but Quinyon's on his march there, and J.C. Horn, the poor Panthers have to put out $100 million for him. So it gets up there, and it brings up another thing with me is, in my opinion, nothing's more important over the next 2 or 3 years than however he works his magic that the Eagles wind up getting another future Pro Bowler Hall of Fame for Lane Johnson.
Yeah.
How they replace Lane Johnson is paramount to this team.
Great
because
point.
then you've got bookend tackles forever. I can see Mailata playing 7-8 more years.
Yeah.
And Mailata will take over as Lane. He'll be
yes
the best tackle status in the league. And it was great that they restructured. They're taking care of the good players, but it gave you a little hint that maybe next year won't be Lane's last either. And there's certainly been no drop off. But how they replace Lane, I think, is a major issue.
Great point. You're spot on. Let me ask you a question. Just talking about the Eagles roster for a second. Don't you gotta go? Put your editor's hat on. You always have it on. Wouldn't you assign a piece for us to go to Georgia in April? Like don't you gotta go to? Don't you gotta go and just talk to everybody in the football program and talk about because you'll have the draft coming up. You'll have all the guys. They just signed another one in Ojulari. And just do that story.
Yeah, you go to the pro day. They have a new batch. I'd like to hear what the guys on the current team think about the Eagles.
Right.
And I'm sure those guys come back and give back. I know that the mothers are really tight. The Georgia mothers on the Eagles. You're absolutely right. That's just ripe for the plucking for a great writer like you, or we would have sent somebody down there to knock it out of the park back in the day. Without a doubt.
All right. Number 3.
All right. Now let's get the tournament hat on, boys.
I love it. Give me the song. Well,
and that will come up. That comes up right away. I really like the history here. And I think it's a lesson to some of the younger guys or whatever. The shining moment thing, which Anthony and Moss and my kids all know, that goes back to 1987. So that's been around a while now, 38 years of the song, okay? But what the guys don't understand is how important March Madness was and how it enveloped the city and the fandom. I mean, at the Daily News, we would have like a 36-page pullout. We would have guys running around at the last minute doing thumbnail sketches, and Lipscomb or somebody would get in on the last day. We'd have to scramble, and we'd put up the grid in graphic fashion.
Oh, I love that.
And then we would start booking planes. And you had to. I guarantee you, in your prime, Anthony, you could have had a side job, a side hustle as a travel agent.
Yeah,
because you knew everything. You knew everything about it, and that's where you had to call travel agents back in the day. We would be there. First of all, if you had a good team, we would send 2. We would send we might send Girardi and Rich Hoffman with Villanova, and then we might send John Smallwood and Mike Kern with Temple. But
and you would be in every region. Like you would be in Seattle.
Second week, it was a given. Every region had to be at every region for the second weekend, without a doubt. But how many
times, Pat, I traveled with Girardi? Like DJ and I traveled together. It was bizarre because it was always me, DJ, and Dick Weiss.
Oh yeah,
Hoops Weiss.
Oh yeah,
and because he was at the New York Daily News. And
Hoops started with us and went to the New York Daily News.
And DJ would go, and we did the region. I could tell you all the time. Hey, I'd see him at the airport because I lived in Philly and would travel out of PHLY or PHL, excuse me. And I would be on a flight with DJ all the time. I loved it.
Oh yeah, nothing but laughs with him. And boy, he came as a horse racing writer, and he turned into one of the best college basketball writers in the country. Still is if he ever needs to do it. Let me do a little quick history of some of the Big Five teams because it really fascinated me and all. All right, Villanova wins twice. Let's look at 2018 for a second, okay? And thank you. Our headline's Phillies Shining Moments. Perfect by Andrew, okay? Let's look at that 18 team. We remember Jenkins with a buzzer beater in 16, but that Nova team crushed people. They beat Radford by 26, Alabama by 23, West Virginia by 32, Texas Tech by 12. Then in the Final Four, they beat Kansas by 16, and they beat Michigan in the final by 17. They just crushed them. Yeah. And Dante,
I remember that Kansas game, man. That Kansas game was awesome.
Yes.
I don't remember anything. I can't remember 4 years ago. I don't know how you guys do it.
Yeah, and Dante, 31 points off the bench, 5 for 8 on threes. Just unbelievable.
What a great headline. Oh, my God. That headline's perfect.
Which one do you
Now,
like better?
The Dante's Inferno.
Yeah, that's a solid.
That's awesome.
The one I want to talk about for a second, though, is your beloved alma mater, Temple. People don't understand. I knew this, but I got to tell you, I did the research and I got sad. John Chaney was unbelievable.
He was the man.
John Chaney, this made me sad. John Chaney was 1 game away from the Final Four 5 times.
I know.
5.
Elite 8.
And the one that killed, and this one, you'll probably get it, but their best team was in 88 when Mark Macon was a freshman. They were number 1 in the country. They lost in the final 8 to Duke. Macon shot like 6 for 29. And my question to you guys is, Coach K rolled out a defensive ace to lock up Mark Macon. Who was that defensive ace?
You know what's funny? It was Billy King. And
Yes! Very good.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
I was at the game. So it was at the Meadowlands that day. And it was me, my buddy Boo, my buddy Tooch that you met.
Yeah.
And Boo and his brother Pat. And we drove up for the game. I'll never forget it. And I mean, how many times I cursed Billy out over that? I mean, oh my God. It was devastating. It was that was one of my most devastating losses.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, I see it. Yep. My wife, it's a horror movie for my wife. I watched it at the Ronhurst Cafe, newly married, and there was hoops all day. It was a 3-meal day. I went there for lunch, dinner, and was eating at night when she showed up.
Nice. Love it.
3-meal day at the old Ronhurst.
The old Ronhurst Cafe.
Did she get it? Did she was? Like,
no, she was
drinking
again.
again.
I'm eating my 3rd meal. She was disgusted. Yeah. Disgusted with me, and rightfully so. And the other thing about John, guys, is that he lost twice to Duke, once to Carolina, once to Michigan State, and once to Fab Five in Michigan.
Yeah.
Lost to big teams,
Yeah. Well, he played all the big teams, UNLV, like he played Indiana, like he played those teams, like those games. Like I'll never forget Temple beating UNLV and Tarkanian at the Spectrum.
UNLV and Tar came to the Spectrum?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I sent out the thing to a couple of my guys, to Barkowitz, Bobby Cooney, Dick Girardi, and Kern last night about how sad I was about the stuff. And Kern did a great job covering Temple. And he said, he really reminded me, they got there at 88 as the 1 seed. John got there as a 10 seed, a 6 seed, a 7 seed, and an 11 seed.
Whew. The matchup, the key was you had no time to prepare for the matchup zone. And it would freak teams out. That matchup, he played, like that's when we had this talk. I had Phil on yesterday, right? And Phil was saying, offense wins now. And he's right. But back then, defense won because that matchup zone, you couldn't beat that matchup zone. It would crush teams.
Right. Yeah. And you'd have people in high school or even CYO, we put in a matchup zone. No, you don't just put in a matchup zone. It's too complicated the way Chaney did it. Well, let's segue to Phil in St. Joe's. And I caught Phil yesterday he was terrific on any level. And I thought it was great that you went on the ground floor about how altruistic he and Dunn, the coaches versus cancer, are. If you wind up doing the showdown there next year, I will be down there. I will guarantee.
Let's do it. We'll do it.
But anyway, with St. Joe's, it's that 2004 Phil team. He did such a great job. They're ranked 1st in the country. And there's a book out now, a local author, Aaron Bracey, who's a good man Did a
Aaron's
real good job
terrific.
in the
Yes.
2004 book. So people that are interested, please get involved with Aaron's book. But, Phil did an unbelievable job with that team. And my little trivia there is they lose by 2 on a kind of a double pump shot from 3. And who hit that 3? You're going to get this again too, probably.
I
They
know
play
it.
Oklahoma.
I could see it. It's Oklahoma State, and I could see it.
Left wing, left-hander.
Yeah, I could see it. I could see him.
Okay. Well, you'll know it once they say the name, and then it takes on another interesting twist. It was John Lucas's son who hit it.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And you
yes.
know what John Lucas's son will be doing next year? He will be the head coach at the University of Miami.
Wow.
He's replacing Larinaga.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow, Johnny Lucas. That's nuts.
Yeah.
Do you remember when
So
Johnny Lucas was the father was coaching the Sixers?
Yes. Way back before your time, John Lucas was when only one ACC team could make the tournament, and he was on Maryland with Brad Davis and Mo Howard from St. Joe's Prep and Tom. Those were great teams back in the day. Now I'll go through the other 2 real quick. Penn, interesting about them, you go back to 79. Penn makes the Final Four, and what sticks out about that Final Four is 2 of the teams in it. They make the Final Four and lose to Magic Johnson and Michigan State.
Wow. Wow. Larry
And the
Bird.
final is Magic and Larry.
Yeah.
And there's one guy, the point guard on Drake, who's one of these D2 players that this great coach, Ben McCullum, brought up, set this record of combo points, assists, and steals in the Missouri Valley Conference. No one's done it since Bird. So this kid will be worth watching.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
I can't let LaSalle go astray.
Southwest Philly floater.
Yep, Philly floater in 2013. They won a few games. John Giannini did really well. But I want to fall back there to there was a day where LaSalle made it in 4 out of 5 years under the great Speedy Morris. Speedy had such an underrated tenure there. He was fabulous.
Yeah.
Covered brilliantly by Girardi. That's the first team Dick covered for us. And he did great with it. The first time they got in, your good friend Tim Legler was on the squad, shot him in there. And the one year that it was 1990, they couldn't get out of the first weekend. They lost to Clemson with a really good team that was ranked 10th in the country. And LaSalle was on a 22-game win streak when they lost. With Lionel Simmons, who was down at the Palestra with Phil and everybody the other day. But they had nice teams. They had Legler, they had Simmons, they had Randy Woods,
Donnie Carr.
Really nice squads. And so, for a certain age group, certainly for Anthony and Moss, you have a great time for the tournament. But you're not getting that Philly team, and people don't understand what a joy it was to have the Philadelphia teams in it.
That was the best.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I want to give you props too, because those pull-outs or inserts you had, man, they ruled my world when this tournament came out. You guys did such a good job, and it's so hard to find all that information in one place because you would have the lineups, so you're always looking for junior, senior guards. You want to see their free throw percentage, and you guys had that capsule for every team. It was great work, and I miss it. I miss it every time the tournament comes out. I'm like, man, I wish someone put that together.
Yeah, it was. Your special sections. I mean, how many did you do a year? You did a baseball preview.
We always did baseball. We did baseball, football, Flyers, Sixers, college basketball preseason. We did the March Madness, whatever. And then we always did one section to enter into the APSE contest. One year we did nothing but Tiger Woods. One year we did nothing but Michael Jordan. One year we did greatest moment in Philadelphia sports. One year we did a thing, record breakers. It was nothing but stats. It was nothing but the statistical leaders of the Philadelphia teams. Bob Petrone did that. And, that was back when you couldn't get anything on the internet or whatever. That turned into a Bible, the stuff we did back then.
Yeah, it was, I mean, I loved it. My cousin and I would like divvy it up. You get this, I would get that, and then we would switch.
Mm-hmm.
It was just must read, man. It was the greatest.
It was the greatest.
And then it's really big past. We did a special section when Wilt passed. We did a special section when Rich Ashburn passed. I remember he passed in the morning in New York. I still have we got the tape of his last game. I actually have a copy of it. And I remember going in and Zach Stolberg says, can we do a 16-page section? He looked at me, he said, what? I said, it feels a little light. We went in heavier. We flew Bernard Fernandez out, God bless him, that morning, flew to Tilden, Nebraska, interviewed, I think, the mother, or not, somebody relative out there, and filed before the night, and we put it in the section.
Wow.
Guy died, guy in the plane, go to Nebraska, get the story, write it, put it in the section.
Yeah, that's the best. I mean, think about that. Think about the travel, but we brought up the travel budget. How great it was to go cover sports. Like, where did that model go, Pat? There's the stories are still there, but there's no money to be I want to do it here at PHLY, right? We try. Like, we were in Brazil with the Eagles. Like, we try to do stuff. But man, how were you able to do it budget-wise?
Well, we were blessed with resources, and the Inquirer was too. But here's one that puts it in perspective. Forget that the years passed and the economy and stuff like that. I know for a fact that the Daily News' travel budget in 1991 was 3 times the size of the combined budget of the Inquirer and Daily News in 2018.
Wow.
Just the Daily News. 27 years later, we had 1/3 of the budget for 2 papers.
Hey, Pat, because I've talked to some people about this. How much did Craigslist affect the newspapers with the classifieds, with the classified money?
All the money, that was everything. Autos.
Yeah.
That's a good question, VG, and it really is part of the chain. I mean, what happened was normally the department stores would advertise in the papers, then the department stores went away, and then at some point, the classified, you wanted to sell a car in Philadelphia, you had to put a classified ad in.
Mm-hmm.
But then all of a sudden, all the online classifieds came up, the Craigslist came up, and all the different ways to do it, and it just sucked all the advertising out of the papers.
Right.
But it was a big part in a number of things that affected it.
Yeah, it's sad. You see the size of the paper now. I mean, it's expensive because they don't have the ads supplemented. So I mean, paper's expensive, and it's like a fifth of the size it used to be.
Yeah. It's bad when we could jump over it.
Yeah,
But it's just the way it is. Hey, we got to take care of some business, and then what I want to do, Pat, is I want to bring Mike's going to join us, right? So I want to bring Mike in on the conversation that we're going to have on the tournament. That sound good?
Sure. And Sielski's a young man, but nope, he can't get away. He remembers some of this stuff.
Oh,
he's not that. Yeah.
He knows, and he should. This is a part of it. I want to go back so bad to those days of cover. I would love to figure out a way where we could do those special sections, and because I still think the appetite's there. I still think people would read it.
Right.
And I don't know. I mean, I judge by our, by our diehards, people like to read it. We still like to read that stuff. Anyway, all right, we'll take care of some business, and we'll come right back. All right, VG, hit me with some TrueMark.
Let's do it. TrueMark Financial Credit Union. Savings. All important. We all need a savings account. And now as spring's coming, it's the best time to spring into some savings. And our friends over at TrueMark Financial Credit Union, are there to help you out. So if you got some financial goals, like buying a house, taking a dream vacation, if you want to build up that emergency fund in case your door handle needs replacement and it's $200 like I'm dealing with right now, it's nice to have a little emergency fund. So TrueMark Financial Credit Union's got the perfect savings account for you. TrueMark Financial offers high-rate certificates and money market accounts to help your money grow faster and work a little harder. So visit TrueMark.com for rates and to learn more. TrueMark Financial, federally insured by the NCUA, Equal Opportunity Lender. Rates are subject to change. So check it all out, TrueMark.com.
All right. /PHLY. Here's the deal. Let's talk about the BetPark Sportsbook online casino app because you're going to need it for tomorrow. Tonight, got a couple playing games, but tomorrow it's all on. Wall-to-wall basketball.
Yeah, and I will say this, as a degenerate these days, get your bets in early because sometimes there's a mad rush and the sites are a little sluggish all over the place because there's millions of us betting at the same time. So get it in early.
Well, it starts 12:15. Creighton and Louisville is the first game. High Point, Purdue. Let's go. High Point, Wisconsin, Montana. That's your early games. And so get it all in on the BetPark Sportsbook online casino app. You're home for the tournament, all the fun, all the madness. It'll be right there. You can play anything you want. Parlays, in-game wagering. That's what the brain does. He does the in-game stuff. And then he sees it and goes, I got this team, and I know what I'm going to do. I can see the matchups.
I got models running all over the
Because here's the deal.
calculations.
The matchups are everything, right? Like, so you see the matchup, you can see who's going to do well, and you can bet in-game. That's a big advantage for the player. So we all like to have some fun. Check out the BetPark Sportsbook online casino app and, of course, all the casino games they got. All right, you can bet the futures. We like, who's our selection?
The chalk is
Johnny's are the selection.
Yeah, the chalk
25
for
brings
me
back
is,
600.
Yeah, chalk for me is Florida.
Yeah.
But Johnny's, I'm going to take a runner on Arizona too. I think they're 40-1.
All right. Well, you can check it
playing
all out. BetParks.com has all the details for that. You can get actually up to $1,000 casino bonus back if you're down in the first 24 hours. Go to BetParks.com. You got to be 21. You got to be in PA, New Jersey, Michigan, Maryland, Ohio. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right. We're doing our headlines. And as always, because when Pat McClune is with us, we love him. And we get in these conversations that go, and I can't shut up. Right? So I just wanted to, I love this stuff. It's my favorite. So Pat's really not a guest, but part of the show. And we always love our man, Mike Sielski, the great Inquirer columnist.
Yeah.
And it's perfect to have Pat with us and Mike and chop it up, man.
Chop it up.
This is a great time of the year. This portion of the show brought to you by Rite Aid, RiteAid.com for the store and pharmacy nearest you. All right. Good morning, boys. Good morning, Michael.
Morning, Cuz. Good morning, Patrick. How's the King of Sea Isle doing?
Very good. I'll be there shortly. That's where the weekend goes. Hopefully we'll get it together in the summer, but that's where I'll be. And we don't have any just great literary columnist here when we talk basketball. You have the guy that wrote the book about Magic in the Air, about dunks, and about Kobe Bryant. So he's certainly got his bona fides. I'm happier when I'm breaking his shoes, but I got to give him his props for that.
Appreciate it, Pat. Thanks.
By the way, on your way down, stop at the Borgata. Tooch wants you to buy you a Guinness tomorrow. He'll be at the Borgata Sportsbook.
Oh, what a good man he is. I would revel in that. And by the way, there was a media guide way back in the day, not way back, but that had LaSalle people in the media, and there was a picture that had 4 photos: Tim Legler, Bill Raftery, Mike Sielski, and Pat McClune.
Look at that.
That's not bad. That's not bad company, Pat. And that leaves out John Gonzalez, Dave Murphy, and the greatest magazine writer ever, Gary Smith.
Yes.
Gary's the greatest. Gary is the greatest. I still talk to him to this day. We're still friends.
Same.
Love him.
He's the best.
Yeah.
Absolute gem of a human being.
Yep. All right, Pat, lead us into the big story.
Okay, well, that thing I've got it. It's called the Bracket Racket. And so a couple of things here is, and we'll see if we can put it to 16 or, I got it up there. I got a Final Four. I got Florida, Duke, Tennessee, and Michigan State. I'd be thrilled if Bruce Pearl and Auburn don't get there. But I was thinking that maybe we could kick it around where we do a quick draft where everybody would pick a team that could make the Final Four and see who's stand. I also think off of what VG said, I personally think the best two teams in the tournament, the best three, I think, are Florida, St. John's, and Duke. And I think it's a shame Florida and St. John's are in the same bracket.
Yeah, that's a killer. That bracket
stinks. There's just way too many good coaches in there.
No, it's unbelievable. You think about it, once you go up in the bracket, so you got Florida, like you said, you got your defending champion UConn. Maryland's a good team, right? That's a deep. Texas Tech is a good team. Missouri as a 6
is
seed.
a good team.
Yeah, even Arkansas is a 10 seed.
Mm-hmm.
And the rest of the regions are just not as good, not close.
Here's why I don't bet that. If you were looking for a bet, the first one that comes to my name is betting against Missouri. VG, I have Drake plus 6.5, 6.5 against Missouri.
I'm anti the Drake.
Got to love the Drake. Got to love the Drake.
Love the Drake. Yeah. I don't want the Drake guy to get the Iowa job because I want Iowa to fall upon hard times all of a sudden. I have my selfish reasons for that.
Pat might be good for a split bracket too.
Yes. That would be good for a split bracket.
All right. Okay. You're sticking it to Sielski because he's not prepared. I told you guys. So I'm going to let Mike go first. Pick a team, a random team that you think could make the Final Four.
All right. I'll start out with the obvious one. As much as I love the story of St. John's, I don't think they shoot well enough. So I'll take Florida coming out of that end of the bracket.
There you go. Anthony.
Well, I'll take the layup and I'll take Duke. I mean, they're still the best. As much as Florida comes at you in waves, I mean, Duke is still the best team I've seen. Now we'll see if the ACC is that light, but they didn't have obviously Flagg and Brown and still rolled in the ACC, and it gets a good Louisville team, I thought. So to me, it's the Duke Invitational, right? You're playing in Carolina. You got the whole thing. You got to lay up to walk to the Final Four.
Yep. VG.
I'm going the home of Charles Barkley. Give me Auburn. I know they struggled late, but their schedule was brutal all year. I think they got a little time to regroup now. They're going to be good.
I'm on the turn, and I'm going to go 2 seeds, St. John's and Michigan State. I'll tell you, man, I guess it's built the way stuff is made now, but one thing you can't knock is that Pitino does know how to coach, and now he's got his son's in the tournament too. But they just wear teams down, St. John's. So that if you ever get to Florida, St. John's for the right to get in the tournament, that's going to be something. So I got St. John's, Michigan State. Back to you, VJ.
I thought. All right, let's see. Yeah, this pains me. Tennessee.
Why does it pain you? I thought you were a Vols fan.
Yeah.
I'm not a Rick Barnes fan.
Oh, he's a Vols football fan.
Yes. Yes. I'm Cuse basketball. Cuse and Penn in hoops.
Yeah, but you can't hate
Rick Barnes.
But you can't hate them. You know, like
he kind of skis me for some reason.
What is that sound you're making? You sound like Chris Collinsworth when Brandon Graham sacked Tom Brady.
I feel like he's selling me like a bad 1983 Buick Riviera or something. He just got a weird salesman look to him.
That's true.
Okay, Anthony.
Well, I'll take the other 1 seed that's left. I'll take Houston.
Okay. I don't think Sampson's he's getting close every year, it seems. They're always good. On the turn, Mike, you get 2.
All right. I'm going to take an underrated 3 seed at Texas Tech. And I will take I'll take the other 3 seed, Iowa State.
I like Iowa State.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do to you can't fluster Sielski. He comes on, has no idea. He jumps right in, and he's doing just fine.
If they didn't get injured, that one kid, Iowa State,
yeah. I like the Houston pick though. Among the 4 1 seeds, I mean, I'm a Sampson guy. I think he's a really good coach. He gets everything out of his teams. That's a good pick.
What Pat? Why do you like Michigan State? I'm curious.
I just think when it gets down to it, that if you're in a matchup and you got some horses, Izzo's going to beat you most of the time.
Yeah, no, I mean it's smart. It's interesting.
Yeah.
You know, I thought they were overseeded. I thought they were really a 3, but
yeah, I thought the Big East. I thought it was a big diss to the Big East.
Yes,
St. John's getting a 2, and then Creighton 8, and Houston, they dissed the 2-time. I don't think you want to diss the 2-time champion, but yeah. But you might be right about Michigan State, but we'll see. You're up, Ant.
I'll take Alabama.
Oh boy, your squad's stacking up okay. I really like that point guard on Alabama, Sears. He's a throwback.
He is.
Give him the ball. He'll do the right kind of thing.
He does. He's a good ball player, man. I'm with you.
He's a young Tyreek Thorin, Mike.
And listen, they explode on you, right? They're all offense. They just come at you. Don't play in defense, but they can score.
Yeah. VG, you're up.
I love me some bourbon, so I'll take Kentucky.
There you go. I'm rooting for that coach.
I like that coach too. I agree.
That Mark Pope, he seems like a great guy in a crazy situation.
Tough spot, man. That's the hardest place to coach in America.
And I've been saying it all season. They can win by 30 and they can lose by 40. They're so inconsistent.
Yes. All right, I'm on the turn here, and I'm going to go. I got my board here. I'm going to go Michigan and Maryland.
I love that. I love that Maryland pick. Maryland's sneaky.
Yeah, he's got some players, and Michigan, that whole team with Jawan is gone, and they put in new guys, and they win the Big Ten tournament. They're going to be interesting. Back to you, VG.
I'll grab Arizona.
I knew you were going Arizona.
I'm feeling Arizona.
You like Arizona. I knew it.
Love it.
I don't know how I feel about them. Wildcats.
Arizona, to me, no matter who the coach is, going back to Lute, they're like an underachiever in the tournament to me. They've always felt that way.
I'm full of that. I got Rick Barnes ready to go. That's my squad. Bruce Pearl.
He's loading up with the big names who underwhelm. I like it.
Yes.
I got a theme going.
Yeah. Anthony?
I'll take A&M because I'll look at that.
Well, Buzz Williams. I almost went here.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I think Auburn is the best team. All right. But that region, I think, could be funky.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think A&M has a pretty decent shot. So I'll take A&M.
Michael, you began it and you can end it.
All right. Nobody took them. And I think they'll last a little while at least. So I'll take the 2-time defending champs. Give me UConn.
That it tells you it's a pretty good feel when that's the last pick. Because I kind of look back and I regret it. I had UConn on my board at 6 and I forgot to tout them. So that's a good call.
So let's examine that. That's interesting.
Yeah.
So you got UConn comes in, you got Oklahoma, right? And they're
gonna pound them.
Right. They're gonna Hurley pounds them. Then you gotta walk into the buzzsaw.
Yeah. But if you're Florida, you're walking into the buzzsaw too.
That's right.
Yeah.
And McNeely is one of those guys who, in a single elimination kind of situation like this, you could see him going like John Wallace in '96, where he just, kind of puts a team on his back a little bit. And they're going to be a tough team to beat. Even if they get bounced early, it ain't going to be easy.
So imagine if UConn shocks the world, right? Beats Florida. And then on the other end of the region, you got St. John's. And could you imagine a regional final, St. John's and UConn? Wow.
Ugh.
That would be outrageous.
That'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. Hoops Weiss would sign a book deal now if he knew that was going to happen.
And would Pitino and Hurley fight at the end of the game?
Oh, man. I'm Team Patino on that one.
There's like 3 or 4 coaches in this bracket who, between Hurley and Calipari, like, who is Patino going out for drinks with after a game? Like, no, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's going to be great in the second round if it's Patino and Calipari matched up.
All right. Let's play a little I got a game for you guys. All right. So let's play the game because in Philadelphia, we're passionate and we have sports hate. All right. So give me your 2 teams, each of you, that you hate the most, that anybody but these 2 teams would win. All right. I'll go to you first, Pat.
Okay. I don't like Bruce Pearl even a little bit. I have 12 schools up here. They're a 1 seed. I would have wound up taking Lipscomb before I would have done it. I want no parts of Bruce Pearl. I just don't like the guy, Maybe Bruce Pearl doesn't like me. I'm just saying. Okay.
All right.
And the other one, I'm not a big Buzz Williams fan down at Texas A&M.
Damn. I like the buzz.
At some point, he used to, one of these guys that put 18 guys on a roster, and he only had 15 spots, and the kid would get, I've heard some good things about him lately, and I know he's a good coach. But since I have to come up with a second, that would be it. Yeah.
Wow. All right, Mike.
Top of the list, and I know this is going to tick off my buddy Dan Gelston from the AP, who's a KU alum, but Bill Self in Kansas, blech. I mean, just
I hate Kansas
talk about
too.
a guy just comes off as a phony, complete. He's in the Hall of Fame, which bothers me. Like the fact that he got in before so many other deserving candidates just rubs me the wrong way. So Kansas can't lose early enough for me.
That's
number one.
I got to tell you, because I hate him too. I can't stand Kansas. I never liked Kansas. Going back to Danny Manning, I didn't like Kansas.
Larry Brown there? You hated Kansas?
Didn't like Kansas. Never liked Kansas.
Weird.
Never liked them.
Yeah, they're like the consummate example. Kentucky's in this boat too, that like they've been a pro program all this time and they pay all the lip service to all the tradition. There's something about them that just has always rubbed me the wrong way. So there's them, and I don't know. I don't have a ton of hate, but I would say Duke, just because it's over, it's done with. The attention that Duke gets year after year after year. I get it, and it would be interesting to me, honestly, if Cooper Flagg gets bounced from the tournament early, because that sets up the whole fun debate about okay. He's going to be the first pick in the draft. How much weight do you put on the fact that he got bounced from the tournament early? That was the whole Kevin Durant question when he came out. Oh, Texas, you saw him lose early on. So I kind of like that dynamic. So
or if he gets bounced early, does he come back?
I can't imagine he does. I'd be surprised at that. That's me. I mean, the idea of any.
Ask you a question. All right, and I know he's not Tim Duncan. It's not Wake Forest, and it's not that time, but. We are living in the time of the NIL, and my man will cash a fat check. I mean, there is a rookie wage scale in the NBA, I grant you, but I don't know. I mean, if you're Cooper Flagg, why wouldn't you want to go back, be the man at Duke, own college basketball, and the endorsement money? Like, think about this for a second. We all go about the salary for the NBA, but if Nike goes, hey, Coop, you stay and be the face of March over the next 4 years, we're going to give you $300 million.
Man, he would really be bucking a trend there, Ant. I mean, that's the thing, right? Like that's why the women's game, the national championship game last year, had higher ratings than the men's game, is because so many of the women's players stay for 3 or 4 years, and Flag would be a total outlier in that regard.
Okay,
in the
but if
men's
you're
game.
a brand, hear me out. You're Gatorade, you're Nike, right? I can have the face of March for the next 4 years. Is the $200 million in marketing worth it? Because if I'm Cooper Flag and you're giving me $200 million, why wouldn't I take the $200 million?
Yeah, but is Cooper Flag going to be on the same level at Duke in terms of name recognition that he would be in the NBA if he were good? But no, but
you're missing the point. The number's $200 million. I'm going to make $200 million to be the face. I know I can be the face of March. First of all, I'm the face of college basketball now, right? $200 million, and all I got to do is be the best player, which I already am at Duke. Why wouldn't I take the $200 million?
I think that's more of a play for what Mike brought up, the women. I think that's more of a play for women's basketball. Like Caitlin Clark, if she was able to come back to Iowa, you're leaving the WNBA for about $85,000. You stay at Iowa for her last year in endorsements was 3.3. So I could see that, but you're throwing up a number to make it so high to have somebody say, okay, for that kind of money, sure, I get it.
Well, yeah, I am, but it's also worth it. When you look at endorsement deals, right? What are you trying? You're trying to get the biggest name, the biggest time, and own it. If you're not, that's a bet you would make if you're Nike or Gatorade.
Man, it'd be tough. I think, like I said, I think the trend is the trend in college is against that. First of all, right? So,
it was pre-NIL, yes, but is it now? Because here's the thing, there's no limit on what a brand can pay a player for NIL.
Yeah, but the trend has been since NIL for these players to bounce around. It hasn't been for them to stay, really, right?
Yeah, but we're just scratching the surface. They're bouncing around in college football to make money, right? Like the guys are getting paid, right? Like what we're not taking into account is if you're the biggest name, you command the biggest brand, right? Like now all of a sudden you're talking about you're an Olympian, right? And you're going to make ridiculous. So there hasn't been a guy in college basketball like Cooper Flag since the NIL.
Let me put it this way, Ant. Let me put it this way. Let me put it this way. I think if Flag were already in a situation like Caitlin Clark or Tim Tebow, he might be the more pertinent example here, where there's already a following, right? Like Flag isn't quite there yet. So maybe the tournament becomes his vehicle for that. Okay. I think if Duke gets bounced, like we just talked about a minute ago, it's going to be much harder for him to do what you're saying, right? Because the Tebow and Caitlin examples happened organically. They didn't happen because an endorser like Nike reached down and touched this athlete and said, this is the next one. The opposite has to happen. Caitlin Clark has to emerge as this incredibly popular figure.
So you don't think
Tebow has to. It's got to be from the grassroots, the ground up.
Yeah, but you don't think Cooper has that swag? Because I do.
No, I don't. I don't.
I think Duke does, though. Duke has a brand, and him be the face of the brand Duke.
And the best player in the country by far. Like, I don't
If
know.
he wins the
From a
championship this
national-
year, yeah, that's one thing. But I don't think it just happens if they get bounced in the Sweet 16 or even the Elite Eight.
Well, I mean, put the end result of March to the side. Yeah, I grant you, he's not Tebow after 4 years in Florida, and he's not Caitlin Clark yet. But I think he's. I mean, it's the Cooper Flag Invitational in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I mean, I think we'd have to see. I don't perceive him as being on that level of those college athletes who have really broken through into the total mainstream in the way Tebow and Clark did.
Well,
maybe that.
Okay, so
you know what I mean?
You're right. So has he tipped, to use the tipping point, the book? Has he tipped yet? No. But if I'm Nike, I mean, I think he's at the top of the wave.
I think he's further along than Tebow and Caitlin Clark were as freshmen.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, certainly Tebow.
I think.
Yeah, it is. It's interesting because it gets to the whole question of like, can a company like Nike make a star the way that it did with Jordan back in the day, right? Like Sonny Vaccaro and Nike reached down and said, this is the next one. Can that happen now when social media and Instagram and all those the forces have changed, and it usually comes up from the popularity amongst individual people themselves?
Like, it's not like you're anointing them and saying you're Harold Miner and you're the next Jordan, right? Like,
is that the first time Harold Miner's been mentioned on this show? Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, Harold Miner appreciates that somebody remembered him.
Yeah, somebody remembered him.
But Cooper Flag is that good. Like, I believe.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm Nike, I would invest. And you're right, Pat. I made the number $200 million, but I think that's a realistic number that you would pay Cooper Flag to endorse my product over the next 4 years. I don't think that's crazy money.
I also think there's a chance he just comes back because you have a kid from Maine who's played in Florida and Duke, and maybe he doesn't want to go to Utah if Utah gets the number 1 pick. You know?
Yeah, it goes back to the tanking talk, too, about the Cooper Flag Invitational. The second, there's such a gigantic difference from Cooper Flag to the second pick. I saw Rutgers at Rutgers this year. Most mock drafts have Dylan Harper and Ace Bailey going 2-3, and I can see the potential in Ace Bailey at 6'10", but Harper, he's just a good player. He's not going to change anybody's team, and he's certainly not going to help the logjam that the Sixers have. But if somebody lands Flag, that's a guy that would be a piece for a really long time.
Yeah, and that's a good point, Pat. I mean, that gets us back, we're talking about tanking and all this in the Sixers. That gets back to the whole Ben Simmons debate back in 2016, right? Like, how good is this guy really if his team, isn't good enough to qualify for the NCAA tournament and then bails on the season once they don't, right? Like, that's a discussion worth having.
Big factor, absolutely.
Yeah, no, it's fascinating. All right, to put a bow on this, who you like to win it? Who's your pick to win it? Anybody?
Go ahead, Pat.
What do you got?
I like Florida. I liked Florida for weeks, but now it's become the common pick. I'm gonna say Florida, and I think that I think the team that would be able to stop them in UConn stuff is St. John's. I'll go with Florida though.
How about you, Mike?
Yeah, I took Florida first in our little draft here, and I'll stick with them. I think they're really good. Obviously, in the best league in the country, so I'll go with them.
VG?
Yeah, I'm a Florida.
You're Florida too?
Yeah.
Wow, no Duke. All right. Who's the big seed that goes out early? Who's the one that makes the headline that, oh, wow, shocker, Cinderella beats them? Pat.
Well, I don't know how highly seeded they are, but it's kind of ironic what happened last night. I think that Carolina is going to move on as an 11 and knock off Ole Miss. Now, 6 probably isn't high enough for what you're saying. I think Alabama might get knocked out early.
They could. They play no defense. Mike.
Auburn. I think there's something. I don't have the visceral hatred for Bruce Pearl that Pat seems to, but There is something about them come this time of year. I know they got to the Final Four in 19 with him and all that, but there's something about him and his teams that just, makes me doubt a little bit.
Well, not only that, they had struggled down the stretch.
Right.
They have not. Like, I'm a big believer in how you're playing down the stretch, man. We just seen it too many times. UConn gets hot, and all these teams that playing good ball during the conference tournament the last couple of weeks of the season. Usually that momentum propels you. And if there's something weird going on, and you rolled in January and December, January, a little bit of February, and you start to level off, I don't trust you. And I think Auburn's in that spot over the month of March.
And it's weird they got the #1 overall seed. I mean, Florida wins the SEC tournament and won at Auburn.
Yeah.
Odd.
Yeah, I'm with you. BG?
Houston. I think Gonzaga as an 8 might take Houston out.
If they were, I just not in love with this Gonzaga team. But
they're not great, but they've been playing better the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, I hear you.
And I like Few as a coach.
I hear you. All right, parting shots, to steal a phrase. All right, best thing about the tournament as its entity, in an entity. What is it, Pat?
We saw it last night. It's buzzer beaters. It's the poor St. Francis at Loretto with their NIL budget of 0 loses because on a thing. Now they didn't. St. Francis did not do my pet peeve, so I felt bad for them. If on that long pass they did not guard the inbounds guy, that drives me crazy. And the Leitner Hill thing didn't guard it. But and I think buzzer beaters, you think about Drew and Tate George and 2 Leitners and all that stuff. Love a good buzzer beater.
It's funny you mentioned the Hill to Leitner play, Pat, because I was watching the St. Francis Alabama State game last night with my 13-year-old son, and I think they made a reference to the Leitner shot on the telecast, and he said, "Dad, what is that?" So I had to take out my phone and show him, the baseball pass and the catch and Vern's call and all that. And I said, "And buddy, this was at the Spectrum. This was just right, it was 20 miles away from where we are now." So it was cool to be able to do that.
That was the best. I watched it from the Palladium.
Very nice.
All right, best part of the tournament, bar none, Mike.
All right, so it's a little bit different from what Pat said. It's not quite the buzzer beater. It is those moments, you get certain games in the early rounds where a lower seeded team is winning in the second half. And there's a moment where they start to make some shots and you're like, oh my gosh, this could actually happen. Like it's not in the first half. It's not like, oh, okay. The 13 seed is up on the 4 seed by 5 at the break.
Yes.
It's when the 13 seed is up by 5 with 4 minutes to go and then hits a 3. Like that, though, I love those moments where it occurs to you that this upset might actually happen.
Yeah, it's inside 10 minutes. It's like actually like right around 7-8 minutes. And you're going, oh my God. Oh my God.
It's nut cutting time. And can they hold on?
Yeah. And then when the heavy favorite starts to make a little bit of a run, like, hold on tight.
Yeah.
Hold on tight. Let's try to get this to the end. Oh, it's the best. That's good stuff. PG.
Nah, I'm a song man, music guy. Shining moment, man.
Yeah.
That's the best.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's the best.
Yeah. Boys, enjoyed it immensely. Just great stuff, from my brothers. You guys are the best.
Thanks, Sam. Appreciate it, man.
Enjoy the madness, everybody.
All right.
Tip one for me,
fellas.
Pat.
That I will do. Yes.
Great job. Mike Sielski, Pat McClune. A lot of fun talking about
That
this.
was good stuff.
Coming up, March is filled with basketball and baseball. Yeah, time to get some seamhead talking.
Seamhead.
I love it. My main man, David Segui, terrific major leaguer, great baseball man. I've reached out. I want to get Mike in on. Chris just threw me off. And he's got the mask on. You all right?
I don't know if it's allergies or I'm full.
All right. But I got my boy David needs to be at a hitting. Like he needs to be work with Phillies minor leaguers. He's that good.
Yeah, he talks about hitting on a whole nother level I can't comprehend.
It's unbelievable. And so we get to talk to Segi coming up next. But first, let's take care of some business. How about some GLAT?
Oh, yeah, man. GLAT. Because, if you're thinning out, if you're receding, you don't want to end up like this. Woo! All powdery and white and bold and shiny. So GLAT Hair is to help you out. They've been restoring and defending hairlines for over 30 years. No wonder that they got the great reputation that they do. Because they're proven results and experienced team. That's only a few reasons the GLAT Hair name has stood the test of time. GLAT Hair by Morgan Stern Medical isn't just about restoration. It's about innovation. Their breakthrough specialized GLAT hair techniques really dramatically change lives and hairlines. The GLAT hair technique consists of, you get one-on-one care. You get 100% personalized hair restoration plan of action designed just for you and your specific hair loss. You get follow-up care, and they hook you up with cutting-edge hair loss prevention treatments, medications, and more. GLAT Hair can help you keep the hair you already have, or they can help you bring back what you've already lost. So if you'd like some more information and you're ready to defend that hairline, today visit GLATHairMM.com, GLATHairMM.com, or you can actually call them or text them, 610-980-4000, 610-980-4000.
It's nuts. Like, isn't it crazy? Defend the hairline like that.
Yeah, man.
It's like a game of Risk. All right. Let's talk about Parks Casino. We're going to be there tomorrow. Woo-hoo. By the way, special show times for Thursday and Friday, for tomorrow and Friday, 11 to 1. So we'll be on 11 to 1 tomorrow and Friday to kick off and party for the tournament.
Yeah.
Fun stuff.
I just want to just sit back with a bunch of Guinnesses. I don't know why. I always have the tournament in Guinness. Beer and basketball is the greatest.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, I would agree.
All right? It's just the best. Parks Casino, our casino of choice, has it all. Excitement, headline entertainment. You can check out concerts and comedy and MMA and boxing and state-of-the-art Excite Center, which is an amazing venue. It's intimate. It's terrific. Thousands of hot online hot slots, state-of-the-art sportsbook, beautiful poker room, and a collection of award-winning restaurants. Parks Casino, this is how you win. Pennsylvania's #1 casino. Tickets on sale now for these headliners. Here we go. July 26th, the hilarious Joe Gatto from Impractical Jokers. Larry! July 3rd, Grammy-winning singer-songwriter Gary Clark Jr.
Here come old flat top.
He come growing up slowly. He got JoJo eyeball. I mean, we really should go, he got head down
To his knees.
Got to be a good look because you do what you please. Come together right now.
Comedian Ron Waite March tonight. Or is it tomorrow? Tomorrow. We'll be there
tomorrow. We get him on. Get a beer
yeah,
with
Ron
Ron
White
White.
tomorrow.
Get Ron White
Get
on.
a cigarette with Ron White.
What do you say? Can't fix
Stupid.
Yeah. Can't fix.
Get some noodles with him.
There you go. I like it. April 11th coming up. The Isley Brothers.
Ooh, the Isley Brothers. This old heart of mine's been broke 1,000 times. Each time you break away.
I want you guys to change it up. Give me a new Isley Brothers.
Another
tune.
song? All
A
right.
different one.
All right. All right.
You got to give me a different one.
All right.
How about psychic medium Matt Frazier, April 18th? Comedian, the band Live, April 24th.
Oh, now I feel it coming back again.
Comedian Gary Owen, April 26th. Larry the Cable Guy, May 16th.
Get her done.
Comedian Mark Norman, July 12th. Don't forget dinner and drinks before the show at the Liberty Bell Gastropub and Beer Garden. Parks Grill Steakhouse, Bamboo Noodle House, Chickies and Pete's. ParksCasino.com to buy tickets for all shows. Parks Casino, this is how you win. You got to be 21. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right. We're waiting for Segi while we do that. let's talk a little bit about the Nugs.
Oh,
Let's
Nugs.
go, our VG Nugs.
VG's Nugs.
As we get ready,
Whoa.
give me some Nugs.
Let's see what I sent to Frazier this morning. So I
Because we had a fun day celebrating BG and where he ranks.
Mhm.
And I love going to that tournament, man. Dude, talking about Philadelphia college basketball, I got a question before you get the Nugs.
Yeah.
I meant to bring this up to Pat and Mike too. But Andrew, I want you to discuss this.
Sure.
Why isn't college basketball as big as it was? When, like, our buddy Danny from the AD from St. Joe's Prep was talking about how they sell out this palestra for the high school championship games, right?
Yeah.
High school is big. What happened to college basketball in Philadelphia? The Big Five was real.
So I think the big problem is you look at the women's, right? They have tenure. Those girls, when they go there, they play 2-3 years. These guys are one and dones. They're there and then they're out into the NBA. And you can't grab a hold of somebody that you like and want to follow. Like Cooper Flagg is a great example. He is this shining beacon this year. He's like the top guy, but he's going to be gone. And then what's going to happen? They're going to have to try to find somebody new. So that, I think, is the real problem with college basketball.
So that's a bigger college basketball issue. But I'm talking about the root cause of the Big Five because it goes beyond. Forget the players for a second. It used to be that you grew up in Philadelphia and you had a favorite school. You were either a St. Joe guy, a Temple guy, a Nova man, a LaSalle man, a Penn guy.
Well, I think they were competitive. They had the coaches. They had identities. They had feel. You know how they played. They stink now. I don't even know. To be honest with you, I'm a hoop head. I don't know who the coaches are on these teams. Like I don't know who the Drexel coach is. LaSalle. I mean, I know Dump just retired, but it's just a carousel of coaches and mediocrity for like the last, except for Villanova. The rest of the Big Five's been pretty weak.
Well, you know, I mean, in fact, Coach Fisher is going to join us tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm a big Fisher fan, but I'm saying LaSalle and Drexel, I used to always follow those as well. I went to LaSalle for a year. I have no idea what's going on with those programs. I can't name a player on LaSalle or Drexel. That's crazy. Yeah. So I don't know if college basketball, I'd be curious to see what the ratings are for the.
It used to be that, I don't know, is it just because of relevancy? Because it used to be like if you were from Philadelphia, you picked the Big Five school. That was your school. Like, and I don't know, how I did it was you picked the school and you followed them, and then you followed all of them into the tournament.
Right.
Like when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Like, so I remember Villanova winning in 85. I remember being a little boy. I don't think I was in high school. I was maybe a freshman in high school. I remember watching in my bedroom Villanova, Georgetown, and like that John Thompson, and I remember, it was unbelievable. Like that team, it was a huge underdog, and they shoot 77%, whatever it was, something ridiculous. And John Pannone and all those guys.
Damn, John Pannone.
Gary, who was the point guard? You know.
For the championship team?
Gary McLean.
Oh, yeah. There was
Dwayne
two McLeans. Yeah.
Was the other one. Gary McLean. Like, I mean, that was like amazing stuff. I don't know what happened to the college basketball thing.
I mean, like we used to have, like, I think the relevancy is a thing. LaSalle used to be ranked. Temple used to be ranked. I would know Drexel's Malik Rose was a potential NBA
later,
player.
Though. Like later on, they were really good, right? Like Cheney and they all went through but like when we were kids, you just watched, I don't know.
I mean,
Tastegate Dom, not enough TV, Ant. Tuesday night, Big Al Meltzer doubleheaders on Channel 48.
Al Meltzer, Channel 48.
Now, is it this, Andrew? Because I'm going to speak to your generation.
Sure.
There's just too much going on that, you're not going to go that hyper local.
Yeah.
The world's so connected, so it's smaller.
Yeah.
So if you are watching college basketball, You're watching Duke, not LaSalle?
That's exactly what I was going to say. We're worldwide now. We're global, so it's so easy. Your fingertips, your phone, your tablet, your computer, whatever you're on, it's so easy to access whatever you want. So it's easier now for kids to be like, hey, from Philadelphia, I want to be a Duke fan, or I want to be a Texas fan, or I want to be a Notre Dame fan, or X, Y, and Z, where they're not as localized anymore like they used to be back in the day, because back in the day, that's all you had. You had the paper, you had your local television, you had all of that stuff. So you were consuming that all the time. But now, with the access of the internet and everything that it is now, it's so easy to be a fan of anything. I mean, look at me, and I'm going to switch sports for a second. I'm a huge Premier League fan.
Right.
I don't live in England, but
Right.
because I'm able to access it, I can become a big fan like I am.
No, it's
so it applies to everything.
No, it's a fascinating. Like it's funny because we talk about, we got Sam from England, right?
Mm-hmm.
Aiden from Dublin,
Exactly.
Right? Like, there's a huge,
There's a whole
Philadelphia.
Phillies UK podcast.
Yeah, exactly. I got my buddy. I have a friend of mine in Australia that loves Eagles.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like when Nova was rolling, there was interest in Nova here.
And not
More
as
than I would have liked.
Not as much as I thought there should have been for
Really?
their accomplishment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think growing up, it was more like when I said 4 for 4, I meant everything in this city. I meant when I created it, I meant everything in this city. It was a euphemism. It included all your local schools. So it didn't matter who made a run. Yeah, listen, when it's the Holy War and it's Villanova St. Joe, you pick your sides. Or it's Temple and Villanova, you pick your sides.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. But come March, I always believed in the region. Whoever was representing the region, whoever made the biggest run, you should root for it till the end.
Yeah. You don't think that would still be true? If LaSalle was on a run, you don't think people would rally around LaSalle?
I don't think there's the passion for it. I don't.
I think if they were on a run, I think you'd feel some type of
I didn't see what
vibration towards it.
Villanova, what Jay Wright did was one of the most amazing things ever.
Yeah.
And I think it was underplayed here. I think he was a bigger star nationally than he was locally.
You might be right. He's really good on TV.
He's great.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
He's great on TV. And he's going to be great during this tournament.
Yeah. He looks so I was just watching I was like, he looks perfect on this set. He just looks like he's made for this.
Yeah, and listen, for him, it's amazing. Like, you're right. He looks great for it. But the bottom line is, he was a great coach.
Amazing coach.
Yeah.
Like, those guys,
He's
the
Hall
one
of
thing.
Famer.
Well, listen, Shaggy checks back. We'll do them tomorrow.
Okay.
All right. But lost in this thing was Dumphy,
Yeah.
John,
Yep.
into Martelli, right? Phil was a great coach. Like, we talk about, we talked to Phil.
Yeah.
Go watch Phil. Some of his coaching, like, he knew what to do as an X and O man.
For
Like,
sure.
we had amazing coaches in this town.
I mean, he had the run where he had some two great players, but for the most part, Phil didn't have a lot of quality recruits.
And they played like that. A-10 was great. It was a great conference.
It was a good gritty conference. It was like a Big East light.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, UMass. Look at the players that they had, the players that were there. I mean, Calipari was at UMass.
You got coaches yelling at each other, threatening each other.
No, I mean, like, there was like legitimate, like, that was a legitimate basketball conference.
Mm-hmm.
I know the ACC got everything, and back then there was no real. The Big Ten wasn't as good as it is now.
No.
It's interesting. All right,
You want to do some nugs?
I want to do some VG's nugs.
All right. Let's start with hockey, maybe. That was a goal last night that blew my mind.
Oh,
It was- Yeah. Connor McDavid doing some
He's the
wizardry with
greatest,
the
man.
stick. I had to watch this from every angle because I was like, how does this even go in?
He went far post.
he like does some weird as
Wow.
he's going to his one side. He just does a subtle backhand to the left as he's going to the right. Yeah,
He like redirects it.
Can I get it in slow-mo?
I wish they
I
would
can
have
see
did
if
it
I
in
can
slow-mo.
I can pause it at a good spot here. So you
Wow.
can see he's backhanding.
He's already
So
gonna
he's directing
kick to
it
the
that
other
way while he's going right.
Dude, it's just filthy.
Can you go pick screen by
Let me
screen?
see if I can make it a little slower. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Play back. Watch this.
Damn.
That slow-mo audio is awesome. Sounds like the announcer's been drinking.
Dude, that goal is sick.
I've never seen anyone
Yeah.
do that, not even in a video game.
He's McDavid. There's some great players now.
Yeah.
Like when we start talking, like at some point, beginning of hockey playoffs,
Yeah.
I want to try to like really dive in. And there's some great talent in the NHL.
There is some really fun they're youngsters.
Great talent.
Mhm.
Well, and that's where Michkov. So Michkov tomorrow night, Washington Caps, right?
Oh, nice.
nice.
So I'm curious to see what Michkov does against Ovi.
Yeah, I would love if they got chippy with each other a little bit.
Yeah.
Two guys who play a ton of defense.
No, but Michkov worships Ovi.
Yeah, I know. I got to do is, you impressed me. James Harden cooked Evan Mobley last night.
He's having a good year. Wow.
He must be on timeline.
Yeah.
He looks faster and spry than he has in 5 years.
He does look good, man.
I mean, that's a young guy he just schooled. There's an old head on the court.
Yeah, but he's a big Mobley.
Yeah, but he's pretty good defensively.
Yeah, well, not against little guys.
I mean, Harden's not 6'1".
You're not staying with who your guard. I mean, he's not guarding a
He's a
guard.
40-year-old man.
No, listen, I'm not taking away from it.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, he still was able to, and that's what he lacked. He had bursts in his legs.
Yeah.
He didn't have bursts on the reg when he was here.
No, he looked tired all the time.
See, here's the thing I can't do when it comes to Harden is now the revisionist history that Morey should have gave him the contract.
I don't think he liked being here either.
I think he would have taken the contract. He would have taken the money, but I wouldn't have given it to him. I don't think he could have given the money. And yesterday, Morey gets eviscerated.
Oh, yeah.
Tell the story.
Is it Marcus Morris?
Yeah.
He's on a podcast, I think, and they ask him about Daryl Morey and AI making picks, and he just shreds them, going off about chemistry. You can't account for chemistry, all this stuff, and all these numbers, and he's not a fan of Morey at all. He says Morey kind of lied to him as
Morris
well.
Crushed Morey yesterday.
He basically.
Do you have the beginning part of it? I thought I sent it to you. So it's just the beginning of it. He's like, all right, I need to go on a rip. And then Marcus Morris.
He goes on for like 5 minutes
just
with it.
Eviscerates Morey. Kills him.
Yeah, let me see if I can find
And a lot of it to do what's he won?
Yes.
He's like, well, he did this, he did that, but Marcus Morris trashes him.
Yeah. I just slacked it to you. Or just slacked it to you.
It was on the Kevin O'Connor podcast.
Yeah. Morey's taking some shrapnel now. Players don't like him. Not like a place.
But here's the thing, though. I can't a lot of that to do with he broke his promise to Harden. He lied to him. I can't listen. I'm sorry. I can't kill Morey for that. Go ahead. No, that's ridiculous.
Chat's saying they got no sound.
Oh, no, really? No sound?
Damn.
Oh, I wish you guys would have heard that. Damn it. He basically said he doesn't trust. He said he doesn't trust Daryl Morey.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a damning statement.
Yeah.
And I don't know how you go forward when when Marcus Morris is saying it and
He's
the
a
league
Philly
saying
kid.
it, I don't trust him.
Right. See, he's the opposite of the Eagles.
Exactly.
Why does anyone want to come here if you can't trust the GM and what they're saying? Yeah, and they stink. Yeah, he's the antithesis of Howie Roseman right now.
I mean, that's frightening, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how you can do your job if players don't trust.
If that's the
you
word
or
around the
like
league
you.
is you can't trust this guy and anything he's saying is nonsense. Yeah, it's not great.
Yeah. Hey, one note. I heard the Eagles, and I got to go back and look, but I'm sure this is true. They only have 4 players over 30 right now on the roster.
Yes, and one of them's a long snapper.
One of them's Goddard, who
One of
may
them's
not be here.
Yeah.
One's Lane,
Mm-hmm.
and one is Elliott.
Yeah.
That is an astounding.
Joe Banner would be so happy.
That's an astounding number.
Yes.
That's unbelievable.
It is. I saw that too. I was like, wow, that's for a team that won the Super Bowl. You would think there'd be some aging veterans on here.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
They got to be the youngest defending champion.
That's interesting. That's something Sielski should dig up.
Right?
Yeah.
That's the youngest defensive They got to be the youngest defensive champion ever.
I would think you're right
champion.
with that. Yeah.
That's incredible. All right.
Let's do one more.
Yeah.
Let's do one more. There's I'm obsessed with this Tokyo.
Oh, me too.
So the beer girls, the beer vendors they have out there, first of all, they got a backpack, which is like a tap with a little tap nozzle. They just pour beer out of as they walk around. So you get a draft beer at your seat. Second of all, it's $6. Tokyo's very expensive. How do they afford to give beers out
That's
for
a
$6?
Sapporo. That's a nice looking Sapporo right there.
Yeah, that was actually an Asahi. But
give me the
both
Asahi.
are very good beers.
I don't know. It's the
But I
first
love
Japanese
you.
beer.
You walk around with a draft beer at your seat for $6.
I got a buddy of mine who's there now, Tim Dowling, great director. He's doing a shoot out there. And he said it's the greatest. Going to a baseball game there is the great. He heard us talking yesterday about the ramen. He's like, dude, you go to a game, you're drinking, right? Then you go eat big bowl of ramen, soak it up. It's the best.
Oh, that's the best. That's the best mop for booze.
Yeah.
Little ramen.
Are you kidding me? All right, time for the Rite Aid back in the day moment.
We're going back. We're going back. We're going back in the day with Rite Aid. Yeah!
All right. Well, you kind of led the show off with mention of it, so we might as well show it. Christian Laettner at the Spectrum.
Oh, yes!
Duke with the shot.
We are having a little bit of an audio issue, so we're going to show the video, but there's not going to be audio.
All right. Look
The
at
most
this.
legendary shot in college basketball. The beautiful Spectrum floor.
Shane Vern Lundquist on the
Very
call.
long on the call. Oh, so real composure with Laettner there. The little fake to the right goes back to the turns to his left.
That's huge. How about this? The Eddie Wright, thank you, brother. Eddie Wright says the Eagles are going to be 25.6 years average. The last bowl team to be that young was the 1981 49ers.
Wow.
All right.
Wow. That's
And
a
that
long
does-
time ago.
Yeah, wow. The average age of the 81 Niners, 25.3. The Eagles, 25.6. That does not account how they'll start the season,
Yeah.
which is even
'Cause
younger.
they're going to get a little younger probably.
Right. Oh, yeah, they already have.
Yes.
right? With BG retiring, the whole thing.
And once this tight end move happens.
Yeah. Great stuff, everybody. Thanks for hanging with us. We love you. Tomorrow, 11 o'clock, Parks Casino. All right? We'll get all nuts, have some fun. We'll do a Field 64. We'll have some, maybe we'll do the hate. You want to do the hate field?
Yeah, if I get enough time to sit at the pub with a bunch of plays.
Yeah, we'll have
come
some
up with
fun.
some.
All right. We'll enjoy ourselves, everybody. Have a great day. We love you. We'll see you in the morning.
We all silly like the mayor.